am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name
Cameron.
is
Cam Buford.
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford.
You got some good questions today.
I'm a golfer fan.
There's always room for improvement.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
All we want to see every year are the best two mothers getting in the ring and getting on.
I got some of this for you.
Goodness. For me?
Yeah, just for you.
Think about it like this: the promoter pays the fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter, and the fighter works
for the promoter. Okay. So you are lifting weights currently?
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Can I finish right now? Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me? Which one?
What do you think about this type of
Like I was saying before.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show Voice of the Fans
Oh my goodness!
continues to
I'm in
evolve,
tears.
Come on, you were adding some spice to it.
it is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
Real ones know what's going on, right?
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
I'm not caught up to you guys yet. I do knowing that.
Surprised at that, Ken.
Hey, give me. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, this guy. That's what's good in sports, man. It's the big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sport.
Thank you for making our voice your choice.
If you haven't told your girlfriend about the show, tell her about the show. If you haven't told your boyfriend about the show, tell him about the show. If you haven't told your cousin, your uncle, your grandfather about the show, let everybody know about the Voice of the Fans podcast.
Hey man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do. Yeah.
What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Voice of the Fans podcast. I got to update that little video. I do got to update that video, but it's been up here in the Northwest, man. It's been we had a little I don't know if you call this a fall heat boom, or I don't know what we call this, but it was hot. It was 90 degrees the other day. It was about 85 today where I'm at here in the Northwest. So it was an amazing day up here in the Northwest. I know that in October, that October frost is going to hit. It's going to slap you in the face or slap me in the face because I haven't been through a full winter yet, but it's all good. I hope you guys enjoyed your week. I hope you guys are enjoying the boxing that we happened this past weekend. We got some Major League Baseball, some Mariners news to actually talk about, some good things that are happening with the Mariners. So we're going to get into that a little later. We got This Week in History, obviously. We're going to get to that as well. Fantasy football. Do you guys want to know about the fantasy football watch? You guys want to know I'm 2-0 in one league, 0-2 in another league. I think we got to let fantasy football play a couple weeks. I don't know if you guys are how patient you guys are with your teams. I think patience is one of the key things because you just picked this team two weeks ago. So you can't be that frustrated with your team, can you guys? You can't be that frustrated with your team that you're already making trade requests or you already went to the boneyard to pick somebody up. I went to the boneyard to pick somebody up, true enough. But I'm pretty comfortable with my squad. I'm trying not to make any harsh moves, make any harsh maneuvers quite yet. I'm gonna let things play out. I'll give it third week. After week 3, then you have an idea what's happening in the NFL. You really have a good idea who's who, what's going on, what the rhythm of the season is gonna be. So I'm gonna be patient with my fantasy squad, and I urge you guys to do the same because we got 17 or 15 more weeks to go. 15 more weeks. So show some patience, fans. Show some patience. Patience is not what you're going to see from me on Thursday, unfortunately. Unfortunately, my Dolphins, the team I've been rooting for since I think it was 81, are going up against the favorite to win the AFC, one of the favorites to win the AFC. As you guys know, if you listen to my show a few weeks ago, my picks, I got Baltimore getting to the Super Bowl this year, but they'll be playing. They will have to beat the Bills to get there. My Dolphins have no chance against the Bills on Thursday. Truthfully, I hope the Bills beat them by 60 points. Like the Dolphins put up 70 points on the Broncos a couple years ago. I want the Bills and Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I'm challenging you, Josh Allen. How many points can you put up against this scrubby Dolphins team? I'm challenging you because I want to see you guys put up 60, 65 points. Maybe then they'll get rid of the general manager. Maybe then they'll get rid of the head coach. I'm talking about Monday or Tuesday. And I will submit my application because I can't do no worse than Greer. In 19 years, I guarantee I win a playoff game. One playoff game in the NFL as a GM, and all I got to do is pick the talent. I'm absolutely winning one playoff game just on sheer talent alone. This guy hasn't won one. He's been through 4 or 5 different coaches. Fire his butt. Get him out of there. Get Mike McDaniel out of there. The vaping on the sidelines, that doesn't work. It's time to go. I've seen enough. And again, Bills, if you guys don't beat them by 50 points, I'm disappointed in you guys, Josh Allen. I voted for you for the MVP. I took a lot of slack because I was rooting for you for the MVP last season. I thought you had a heck of a career when, the first 5 years I wouldn't give you no credit. So you had an MVP year. Let's see MVP Josh Allen on Thursday night against these Dolphins. Go ahead and put up 60 points. I got ahead of myself, guys. I got to talk about last week's game before this week's game, but I want to get that off my chest. Josh Allen go for 60. That's what I say. Last week we had some really solid performances. Jordan Love, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Although Jaden Daniels, I'm surprised he got hit and got injured. The way he sleekly moved through the NFL last year. All it takes is one hit, though. If somebody hits him, and he didn't have the frame. He didn't have the frame like a Steve McNair to withstand a few hits. It was only going to be a couple hits, and he's going to have to sit down and what did they say? Reinvigorate himself, rejuvenate himself. So Jaden Daniels going down, that was kind of tough for the Commanders. However, the Packers are on a roll right now. Whether he was there or not, I don't think it mattered because it sure didn't matter. It sure didn't matter in week 1. So now the Golden Child, the rookie of the year from last year, is 0-2. I mean, it can put the Commanders behind the 8 ball, so to speak. So what are they going to do the rest of the way? Will everybody be looking intensely to see that? The Giants and the Cowboys, that was an exciting game, wasn't it? I think there were like 4 or 5 lead changes in the last 2-3 minutes of the game. That was an exciting game. Dak Prescott, it was 362. Dak Prescott, he may not win every game. If you play fantasy football and Dak Prescott's available, you might want to stick him in your starting lineup. I need to take my same advice. You might want to stick Dak Prescott in the starting lineup because his defense is going to be giving up a lot of points. As you see, the Giants score a touchdown. Russell Wilson, they heave to the receiver Naylor. The heave to the receiver. The Giants receiver was with under a minute to go in the game, and he ties it up with that touchdown bomb. So the Cowboys will give it up to you guys. With Russell Wilson throwing 450 yards, 3 TDs. He did throw a pick late in the game, but 453 TDs. That's because they really couldn't stop the Cowboys. And so Russell had to keep putting it in the air. Oddly enough, this game, with all the scoring that went on, this game come down to a field goal to win a game. Brandon Aubrey, if you guys didn't know by now, he kicked a 64-yard game-tying field goal, and then a 46-yard game-winning field goal in OT. Those 2 things hadn't happened before. Somebody kicked a game-tying field goal and then a game-winning field goal. That hadn't happened before. So the Cowboys getting some grace early in this year. The Bengals game, Bengals and the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence stinking it up again. Joe Burrow gets hurt. That's a sad. In half of his career, in half of Joe Burrow's career, he spent the season on the injury in the training room. You can't have your franchise quarterback spending that much time in the training room. That's something that plagued the Dolphins. And let me back it up. Tua just not as good as Joe Burrow. Let me leave it right there. Tua is just not as good as Joe Burrow. So there's no equating the two. However, when you have a team that doesn't have an injury-prone quarterback and doesn't have an adequate backup like the Dolphins do, the Dolphins run into problems. Jake Browning has proven that he's a serviceable quarterback. And that's all I'm asking Chris Greer to do is get a serviceable guy. They're out there. Believe me, go find one. Get out of the cocktail bar, the lounge in Miami, in South Beach, and go find me some football players. Chris Greer. Somebody here to settle me down and line me up. My man, Bo. What up, Bo?
What's happening, man? Hey,
man.
Sorry I'm a little late. My computer is still stuck on 7%. So I'm not sure what it decided to do on a simple restart, but apparently it is reconfiguring everything. I don't know.
You got a lot of stuff going on. You got a lot of stuff going on, man. We don't, I don't know. Don't expose those files. Keep those files private. But apparently you got a lot of stuff going on over there, huh, Bo?
I mean, it's like I'm nonstop running, that's for sure. But this seems a little ridiculous. But, but I'm here on my phone. So,
Thanks for chiming in when you could, man. The fans appreciate it. Bo Crouch, let the people know where they can find you first and foremost.
Yeah, so on YouTube, you can find me at Football-Talk. Roku, it's National Streaming Sports, and of course, Radio 97.3 out of Atlanta.
Okay, and Bo, every week during the football season, you got something special going on. What is? Explain that to the fans who not unfamiliar with your little plan you got going.
Yeah, so we do a Pick'em show. This is our 4th annual Pick'em Championship, and so we actually do a show before Thursday Night Football, which is when our picks for the week lock. And I go over every pick that I got wrong the week before and what my picks are for that present week. And we break down each game and just kind of go from there. It's a ton of fun. We actually broadcast it live from Crucible Brewing in Everett on Everett Mall Way. And then we stay and watch the game. So that gives us time to, meet with other sports fans and talk to people and have a beer and have something a little less formal than what I do all the time.
You're a busy man. One more time. Where's the location at?
So that is Crucible Brewing in Everett, and that's on Everett Mall Way. And that is every Thursday night for every Thursday night football game the entire season.
Even Thanksgiving? Do you take a break on Thanksgiving, sir?
So we will probably be there for Thanksgiving. The following week, I won't because I will be in Mexico. And I will be getting away from the rain here in Seattle and drinking a beer on the beach where it'll be 82 and awesome.
Well, I wonder if there's internet out there. Maybe we can get you online anyway while you're having your Mai Tai and your fruity drink over there.
So there is definitely Wi-Fi. I actually used to do my show when I lived down in Puerto Vallarta, and so I did my show from Mexico, which is where I'm going. So I will be able to chime in. It'll just be whether or not my wife allows me to do that while we're on vacation. She may not love me jumping on stuff, but I'm still the Sunday that I'm there, I'm still going to watch football. Like that. That's not going to be different. In fact, if anybody happens to be down in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, the week after Thanksgiving, if you want the best wings in Puerto Vallarta, go to Captain Don's. It's in the Cinco de Diciembre neighborhood, and it's a sports bar. It was originally founded by a guy that was from here in Seattle, so they have a lot of Seahawks stuff there. They have the best wings in PV, and they'll have the game.
The best
So
wings.
shout out to Captain Don.
The best wings, Captain Don. Okay, shout out to Captain Don. You get some pub way up here in the Northwest, Captain Don. Those wings better be good. I tell you that.
Hey, let's calm down. Let's calm down. They're not U.S. wings, right? But they're the best. They're the best. They're the best you're gonna get
in Mexico.
They're the best wings you're gonna get in PV.
Okay, that's cool.
I wouldn't say they rival, some of the best wings you can get here in the States. Because we just do more of them.
Right. Yeah. That's true. That's true. We've kind of perfected that. So speaking of football Sunday, what kind of stood out? And you can include Thursday if you want. What kind of stood out to you? What are a few things that stood out to you this past weekend in the NFL?
One of the things was just quarterback injury, right? Quarterbacks going down. We got 5 that are questionable going into this week.
Well, three are not going. We know Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, and McCarthy are not going this week.
Neither is Justin Fields. Justin Fields is out with a concussion.
That's 4. He's not going. So that's 4
and
out.
Purdy,
that's already out.
Yeah, and Purdy is listed week to week.
Oh, that's right. Purdy's out too.
Yeah, he's doubtful, so it'll be Mac Jones.
Yeah. So that's 5 quarterbacks. Whew. Any of those are you starting either one of those guys?
The thing that's funny is when you were looking at fantasy rosters.
Yeah.
You were probably actually a little bit excited about the fact that J.J. McCarthy got hurt if you have Justin Jefferson, because they have Carson Wentz as their backup. And although people may not like him personality-wise, he can throw the ball.
Yeah, when's the last time you saw him throw the ball, though?
Oh, he had a great year with Colts.
Again, when was the last time you seen him throw the ball?
Well, no, but think about it.
Action. Well, that was like 3 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, but, then he went to Washington, and that place was a dumpster fire because Snyder was still the owner. And then he's done a couple of backup roles since then. But, I mean, his knock was never his ability to throw, right?
Right.
I mean,
he was a locker room dunce.
But from a backup, that doesn't matter because nobody's trying to follow that guy. They just need him to swing the rock. And so do I think he necessarily wins the Vikings the game? I don't know. But if you are a Justin Jefferson fantasy holder, you got to like that opportunity because McCarthy wasn't exactly lighting it up.
Well, I was indifferent on McCarthy, but I saw some things that kind of looked impressive. Maybe I got caught up in the 1 quarter versus 7 quarters of stinky football, but it was a pretty good quarter though. It was a darn good quarter though. I mean that really was kind of captivating. It's unfortunate that he got hurt, but it is what it is. What do you think is Shane Steichen and who's my man? I forget my man's name. The quarterback for the New England Colts, or not New England Colts, the Indianapolis Colts. Who's my man for the Indianapolis Colts going for 2-0 right now?
Jones.
Daniel Jones. There you go. This shit is this sustainable? Shane Steichen got his job because he was Justin Herbert's quarterback coach in the Chargers when he had his record season. So it's like, okay, you can coach a rookie up to doing this. Let's get you up in New England. But he's been through 3 quarterbacks, hasn't he? Been through 3 quarterbacks. He tried he try Matt Ryan? Did he try Matt Ryan? What veteran did he try? Did he try Matt Ryan and didn't work out? He tried the old quarterback for the Chargers. Rivers, it didn't work out. He tried Rivers. That was his first That was his first quarterback. Rivers. He's been through 3 quarterbacks now that hasn't worked out.
So if for the Colts, Rivers had a good year.
Well, they didn't win.
He retired. They went to the playoffs. He had a really good year. He just retired at the end of it.
Did they win in the playoffs? So that's kind of what I'm saying.
No, it was Philip
They went to
Rivers.
the playoffs. They went to the playoffs, and wait. Is Philip Rivers you expected to lose in the playoffs? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Hey, so let me put it this way.
I would take a playoff appearance if I was as a Dolphin fan. I would take one, so I can't really be too harsh on those guys.
Yeah, I mean, look at it this way: Philip Rivers, Matt Ryan, Stafford when he was with the Lions, right? These are all guys that would light up a stat sheet, but when it came to postseason time, wasn't it, right?
Right.
I mean, so it depends on what it is you're looking at. Do you want to have a potential winning season, at least get into the playoffs? Are you a fantasy owner? Because Stafford, when he was with the Lions, he was a fantasy master. Cousins with Washington, fantasy master. Did it ever equate to win? No, because the team was terrible, but he could throw the rock forever.
Okay. So go ahead.
But I don't think Jones is going to be that. But I will say, like, I'm not a Daniel Jones believer, but for me, I will say this is the best position. This is the best opportunity he's had. Like, this is the best offensive line he's had.
Running back, receivers.
Yeah, like I actually like the opportunity for him, right? Do I think he's, some elite talent? No, I mean, of course not. But do I think he's better than what we saw with the Giants? Yeah, I think everybody's better when they leave the Giants. So,
So let's look.
So yeah, no, I like his ability with that team.
So I'm gonna pull up the Colts. I'm gonna pull up their next 3 games and see where they stand. The Colts, their next 3 games, and see if they can get to 5-0. They've got the Titans this week, so that should be conceivably a win. The Titans.
Even if they don't play as good as they did in the first 2 games, that's probably a win. The Titans aren't a good team, right? Like they're still trying to
they're learning
the base of their machine.
Yeah, what's your name gonna pop one? He's gonna have a couple of good games this year.
For sure. The team isn't built to win. It's not like they're a quarterback away. Like they're about 35 guys away from being
about 35 guys. The Colts play the Tennessee Titans this weekend. That should be a W. They play the Rams next week when the house should be coming down. The house should be
I'm
coming
assuming
down
that's an L.
Yeah, that'll be. I mean, no, but if you start 3-1, any Colts fan should be ecstatic with that. Then they got the Raiders and the Cardinals. So any Colts fan should be ecstatic with a 4-1 start. I would say they play the Raiders after the Rams. What's your thoughts on the Raiders?
I like the Raiders. So let me preface what I mean by this.
Okay.
So I like the Raiders because they are going to be an entertaining watch. They're going to be wildly inconsistent. They are they're a team that's going to steal a win from a good team and then lose to the Panthers, right? Like they are that team. So they're going to surprise you by beating somebody they shouldn't. They're going to lose to somebody they shouldn't. They are going to miss the playoffs, but they're going to be entertaining each week. It's basically if your whole team are Gardner Minshew's is really what this is. But it's going to be fun.
Shots fired.
I mean, it's going to be fun, but it's not going to win a lot. But it's going to win some games it shouldn't.
Is Austin Gentry a Gardner Minshew class running back?
No. I just mean the organization is it's going to be fun, but it's not going to be a team that you're super worried about. And Gentry, Gentry, we don't even know what he is yet because we haven't seen him really pop off.
I've been wondering. I was kind of questioning that he had a great season. He ran for 2,000 yards against who? And I hate to say the talent disparity in college football, but I mean
it's huge.
At Boise State, you do that. That's not at Wyoming. That's not even doing that at Iowa. That's not even 2,000 yards at Iowa. Like if you did 2,000 yards at Iowa, you got my attention. I'm wondering. I want to see did that production carry. And so far, I didn't see it carry in the preseason, and I haven't seen it carry in the regular season so far. It's early. It's only been 2 games. I just haven't even seen like a burst, a pop, something. Something like say, oh, that's it. I haven't seen that. I don't know if that. I don't want to. I hate to go to the offensive line. There's truth to it. I get you. You need an offensive line. You need a good offensive line to create a running game. However, a good back. I'm not sure the Colts had an awesome offensive line when Marshall Faulk was running the ball. I'm not sure that Detroit Lions line was superior. I'm not sure one of those guys in the Hall of Fame.
You're talking generational. You're talking generational talent, though. But so let me give it to you this way. Let me give it to you this.
How many years? Let me speak. How many years in a row did Baltimore have a quality running back? How many years running in that Shanahan scheme did they produce a 1,300-yard running back? I personally believe a lot of offensive line is coaching. I personally believe that these are big guys. Yes, there's agility. Yes, it takes agility. Yes, they need to have quick hands and quick, be able to punch quickly. Yes, that's true. But a lot of that, I believe, is coaching. I'm sorry, I believe it. You can't convince me otherwise. And go ahead, say your point, and I'll continue.
So I 100% agree with you that it is a coaching thing, and there's a problem in the league in general when it comes to player development, because the coaches at this point. The league has become such a "what have you done for me lately" that they are constantly just trying to plug holes rather than actually bring players along. So I fully agree with you there. But I will say that offensive line has a huge factor, and one of the best examples of that happens to be my Seahawks. We have 2 studs, right? Kenneth Walker, beast, right? Zach Charbonnet, also a beast. We had one of the worst offensive lines last year. They didn't do anything. And in fact, if you look at the Seattle running back situation since 2015, their main back has landed on IR every year since because we got rid of an offensive line, and we've had a bottom 5 offensive line ever since. So not only are you trying to run, you don't have any holes to run through. So your first contact is now these 6'5" Samoan dudes that weigh 300 pounds instead of a 235, 245 linebacker. I'm sorry, but you're going to get beat up by the big uglies up front, right? I mean, and when you're trying to break your first tackle 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage instead of 3 yards before, even if you have some yards after contact, it's getting back to the line to start.
Right, sure.
So, I mean, the line is a huge factor to a good running game.
Let's stick with your and I think since you brought up the Seahawks, well, let's talk about the Seahawks for a minute. And Sam Darnold, I think you got the full Sam Darnold experience on Sunday. You saw some good, you saw some bad. That ultimately came and win. What I do like is that the defense is for real. The defense is for real. The defensive line is for real. I noticed that. My goodness, at Seahawks camp in DeMarcus Lawrence, like when he walked into the press table, it wasn't a press box, to the press table, I was kind of standing right there, and I want to say it was like a darkness came over me, and then I recognized who it was walking to the podium. But dude is massive, and he's quick. I mean, he's massive, quick, and nimble. Like him on the other.
He looks like he wants to play again too.
Well,
which is something it didn't look like he had that in Dallas.
He has Leonard Williams, and whether they appear to hit it off. I mean, they were sticking, buddy. They were damn near holding hands and walking through practice everywhere they were going. I mean, they were sticking with Leonard. I think they had the same shoes on, the same shorts on. Again, I mean, I think they were kind of developed a little kinship there. But those two dudes, even the day in practice, I was there, but those two dudes were not suited up. And that defense line looked like they were pushing the offensive line around. That's what I saw. And so the offensive line is learning from that. Obviously, they have their young rookie that they're building on. They got brought in some different pieces, but that defense is for real. Is the whole point I wanted to make. And they got that really gives the young cornerbacks, this young secondary, some more time to grow. Yeah, they're not. It's not all on them. Right, it all works hand in hand. Right, the defensive line attack the quarterback, shortens the time that the DBs have to cover, so that improves their efficiency, if you will. The cornerbacks and the safeties, so it all works together. And then you have the linebackers like Jones still going out there making those tackles, patrolling the middle. I mean, this defense is solid; it's ready to go. And why listening to you and you brought them up, you speaking about the running backs. Charbonnet got drafted. I was not a Charbonnet fan. I was not a fan of Zach Charbonnet in UCLA. Not whatsoever. I just think I personally wouldn't draft a player that played at UCLA. They'd have to be really special for me to draft.
So there's some school hate. I guess.
So no, it's not even hate. It's how many good players do you know that come from UCLA? It's perfect down there. It's perfect down there. Those guys have deal with zero adversity on the football field. So when we gonna go somewhere and you have adversity, how are they gonna respond? I'll deal with somebody from Iowa, from down south, or somebody who's really played some football. Those guys in the pack, whatever, don't play football. So that's my opinion. But he came out of there. I was not a fan. But what I saw last year and just watching the game as objectively as I could, Zach Charbonnet, and I was much more of a fan of Kenneth Walker coming out of Michigan State than Zach Charbonnet. But what Zach Charbonnet showed me is that he can hit the hole, he takes the ball where the offense is supposed to be going, and that picks up more yardage than when you're trying to create and be fancy and dance and get a highlight. And yesterday or the other day, I seen your boy Walker just hit the holes. I think he got the message. I think he seen Charbonnet getting some carries, and
there was some real talk that Walker might lose the running back one role to Charbonnet,
and that's exactly why. And it's not that Charbonnet's special. It's not that he's special, but sometimes you just need to run the play and pick up the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards that the play is intended to get, and not hit a home run on every play. And so, I would have said that. Just like, we'll get into it later. I was talking about Ezzy lost her minutes to Dom, and there's nothing wrong. I don't dislike Ezzy, but I just think this person earned some minutes. Charbonnet earned some carries. He earned it by following his blockers. Who's setting the blocks. He can pick up 7, 8, 9 yards before getting touched. And then, if there's a bigger hole, he showed against Minnesota last year, he'll burst through that hole, and he can go to the house. Zach Charbonnet showed that to me, and I was not a fan of his coming to college. So I have to shout out to you, Zach. Good job, Zach. And I'd actually like to see I don't know if Kenneth, I think that inspired us, because we've seen yesterday against the Steelers, Kenneth was running hard, and he was taking one cut and going and not stopping all that dancing. Don't do all that dancing. Yeah, you shake that safety when it's one-on-one. That's who you shake. Outside of that, you just get gone. Get gone. So I was impressed. I was impressed by the Seahawks overall. Had a chance to see your guy was at the game, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Did you see he was at the game last night? I had a chance to talk to him. He's feeling really good. What else is he gonna say? He's the number one receiver, right? Most passes is designed for him. So he's not gonna say anything else. But he said they're feeling pretty good. What's your thoughts on this early temperature of the Seahawks?
Yeah, no, I mean, I like the receiving core, the way that it sits.
Real
Cup
quick,
is sitting in nice.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go for it.
Golden State is up 30-21 on Minnesota Lynx in the beginning of the second quarter.
Okay.
Just thought I'd pop in with that. But
all right.
Go ahead. What's your thoughts on the Seahawks?
Yeah, so I do like I like the receiving core, right? JSN, he was ascending before we got rid of Lockett and DK anyway. He was already taking touches away from both of those guys. You bring in Cup. Cup is that possession receiver, right? Like, so he fills that role. And then the new kid, Horton.
Ooh, that's
man,
money.
he looks
That's
nice.
found money right there. That's found money right there.
And that's the guy that moved MBS out of town, because they brought MBS in, and they liked what they saw from Horton out of camp. Obviously, Bobo is hurt right now, but I mean, he's going to steal. He's going to steal the reps from Bobo for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bobo's not that guy. This guy is slick. Horton is going to be good.
I mean, when you talk about it that way, you got 4 dudes, right? You're only going to have 3 of them on the field most of the time. So, I mean, I like that scenario. Obviously, like you said, the defense is nice. The defensive line has really come along. You got some studs at linebacker. Nwosu's back from injury. Witherspoon is still out, but you did end up getting Jaren Reed back. You got Kobe Bryant back. You got Julian Love back. Because they were all of those guys were kind of on, play restrictions a little bit against the Steelers. And even with that, they handled business against the Steelers. So I like the way this team is starting to come together. Outside of kind of an offensive meltdown against San Fran week 1, this team could have easily been a 2-0 kind of team. But the biggest thing is even with the injuries and a lot of those players having a little bit limited action against the Steelers, the defense looked legit.
Hold on, who is the Minnesota version of Sam Darnold? Who is that? I'm sorry, Ralph. I might let that one slip by me, but who is the Minnesota version of Sam Darnold? I'm not sure. He just typed that one in there.
Oh, he might be a little behind. Like, he may not be up to like, he may have started the show from the beginning, so he might just be hearing some of the earlier commentary. That's all I can assume if those just popped up.
Yeah. Those just popped up. So, do you have the Seahawks? I mean, we got an injured quarterback in San Francisco. I thought I had San Francisco winning that division. I thought the Rams would be a close second. The Rams and the Seahawks would be battling out. I got this division being. I mean, I got the Niners winning. You had the Rams. I think they were all within a game or two when I looked at when I actually went through the whole schedule for each of them. They were all within a game or two. So to say that the Seahawks won't make the playoffs, I mean, they wouldn't make it by a game or two. Again, it's going to be a close. I had the 49ers winning the division, but I don't know if they're going to win it with Mac Brown or Mac Jones quarterbacking. I'm not so confident in that. And that leaves the door open for the Seahawks. The Rams will be there, but we know Stafford at quarterback, he's going to give away a couple games. He's going to give away a couple games. Is those games going to be to the Seahawks to give the Seahawks a tiebreaker? Because the record again won't be far apart, but it'll be that critical tiebreaker that will get them over the hump. I just have the Rams. I think the Rams and the 49ers are stronger in that division.
Yeah, historically the Rams kind of get one over on the Seahawks. So if it comes down to a tiebreaker, I would lean towards the Rams probably winning that tiebreaker just based on history. But I have the Rams as the winner of the division. The Niners I actually had in the 3rd place spot because of the amount of stuff they got rid of, right? They start the season without IU. They lost Debo. They had some younger guys that come in that are playing decent, but you're also betting on CMC making it through a whole season as he's now their number 1 threat. And so, I don't love that scenario. They got rid of some key pieces on the defense as well, just because they had to create cap space, right? And so this season was going to be a step back for them no matter what. So I had the Seahawks occupying that 2nd spot and being a borderline wild card team. I have them as a 10-win team. And the reason I have them there is because they play the South, and I don't mean the NFC or the NFC. I mean they play both South divisions. And so you got some cupcake games on this schedule, and it gives them a clearer path to get to a 10-win season, especially because, they play the Cardinals tough. They usually split with the Niners, so I fully imagine the next time they see them, they'll split. The Rams will be a question mark on if they can split with them. But, because of the way the schedule is, it's not an overly hard schedule based on the opponent. And so that's where I think they can probably sneak in, because on the NFC side, you still have the North that's going to beat themselves up, right? Mm-hmm. And so, you're not going to have three teams from the North, because those teams are going to beat each other up just to get out of that conference or out of that division. So, in the other divisions, I don't think you're going to see two teams come out of. So, you might see two out of the North just because, but we'll see what Washington is.
The Packers and the Lions. I don't know if the Bears are ready, but the Packers and the Lions are coming out of the NFC North.
But that's what I mean. You're not going to have three out of there, so you're going to have, so you're going to have a second NFC West team, or maybe an East or whatever, right? So it's not going to be the South, but it could be the East, right? But now that Jane Daniels is hurt, maybe not. The Cowboys aren't going to do anything. The Giants are the Giants. So I mean, like a 10-win team could be in the wild card spot.
So yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So you said the Cowboys aren't going to do anything, and neither are the Giants. So that barn burner that they had the other day, that didn't excite you for either one of those teams? A 40-37 game in OT.
So here's the thing: you can have a competitive team or a competitive game with two bad teams, because they're both bad. So it's even competition.
Two bad teams make a good game, huh?
I mean, think about it. If you have Alabama versus Tulane, that's going to be a wipeout, right? But if you have Tulane against UC Davis, that's probably a good game.
No, not fair. I mean, that's you're right. You're right. Have we seen?
Sorry for the colleges that I just sent strays out on.
Yeah, I know, right? The Eagles handled the Chiefs again, although it wasn't a complete domination as they did in the Super Bowl. I mean, it was a pretty convincing win, where the Chiefs knew as the second tick off the clock that they weren't going to pull this one out. Have we seen the best? Is the best of the Chiefs behind them? Or did the Eagles have the number?
So this is another scenario where two things can be true. Do I think the dominant Chiefs that we saw a couple of years ago aren't there anymore? Yeah, because the defense just isn't the same. Do I think this Chiefs team is going to be better than we've seen so far? Of course, because their two starting receivers are out, right? So when those guys get back, I feel like this team will start to click a little bit more. It doesn't get over the fact that they don't have a great defense. And their last couple of years really hinged on a defense because their offense had a tendency to drop the ball a lot. So,
Well, not only do they have the receivers out, which is a great point by you. They haven't had a running game since the Super Bowl. They haven't had a running game to speak of since Pacheco in that first Super Bowl a couple years ago. I am convinced that Patrick Mahomes. Well, I don't need any convincing. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback that you and I have both seen in our lifetime, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. However, as Brady's baby mama once said, you can't throw the ball. He can't throw the ball to himself, so he can't do everything. And he needs a squad. And as you mentioned, they paid Jones, but they typically don't pay their cornerbacks. There was talks about them trading McDuffie, who is he's a top 7 cornerback in the NFL by anyone's metrics. What do they expect to get from a trade of McDuffie? Are they getting a star tackle? Are they getting a draft pick? Are they just getting the salary relief.
I think they're probably looking at maybe getting some picks and salary relief. Because, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you do have to keep reloading because you can't pay everybody. Probably the biggest thing, if I'm a KC fan, is I don't want to see Mahomes trying to run people over anymore, right? Like, he's done that in each of the first 2 weeks. And, like, that's how you get quarterbacks hurt, right? Like, those dudes are big. They're out there to hit people for a living. If they start getting tape of you trying to square up on dudes, even if they get a flag, they're going to come blow you up because they don't want to be on SportsCenter getting knocked over by a quarterback. So, I mean,
I'm not sure that's an issue no more. I'm not sure that's an issue these days. I'm not
How's
sure.
that?
Because they know who the golden child is. They know they can hardly breathe on a guy. Let alone go smack this guy.
You knocked me to the ground. You put me on SportsCenter. I am blowing you up.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong. I understand exactly.
Take the 15-yarder. I'll take the 15-yarder and the fine.
Listen, you are not wrong. You are not wrong. I asked this is a few years ago in the locker room, in the Chargers locker room, speaking to some players. Player you mentioned earlier tonight, actually. I asked the players specifically about the rule changes this is about 4 years ago when the rules are changing. Now they're changing the target zone. Now you can't hit the quarterback below the knee, and you can't hit. Obviously, you couldn't hit him in the head. That's a foul. So they're just shortening. Now I said, guy. Now as a defender, as a defensive guy, when you're coming around the corner and you see that quarterback, does it come into your mind where you can hit him? What you can do, what you can't do, or are you just trying to get to this guy and get him on the ground? Are you really thinking about that? He's like, well, yeah, you have to think about that because it's going to cost you some money. If you don't hit him, it's going to cost you some money. I was like, okay, now, aren't there some quarterbacks that you would pay that fine for just a hit? And he wouldn't tell me who it was. So of course, he's like, yeah, I would. And I was like, well, come on, give me some names. He's like, nah, I can't do that. Nonetheless, I say that to say that I don't think the way the game has morphed, if you will, have kind of changed to a more offensive game. Defenders, not only are they familiar with the penalty for hitting a quarterback,
sure,
they're not going to do that to the star of the NFL. That's my impression. That's my opinion. And I say that because we haven't seen these guys. Now, there's obviously a couple players in the league that would go out that we have to question that logic on. But for the most part, the majority of the players are not going to go out there and take a cheap shot. I understand what you're saying, where he runs to the sideline and Mahomes has faked the slide and continue to run down the field. And that's, yes, I would wall up that guy just because I've seen that alone where I don't want to be, I ease up and you didn't run for 10 more yards. Yes, that's the reason you're going to get walloped. But him, when he gave the dude the forearm and the dude came in there lackadaisical, that's that defender's fault. That is
I agree.
100% that defender's fault for coming there lackadaisical, and you took one to the forearm to the head, and that's what you get. But the majority majority of players, I don't think, are coming to knock his head off. But I understand why you say you would do that.
Well, and even in a situation where it's like that, where he probably did pull up thinking, oh, he's going to slide, and then he doesn't, and he stiff arms me to the head. That is where I'm immediately like, okay, fool me once.
Right, exactly.
Cool.
Yep. I'm not mad at I'm not mad at that.
I would immediately in my brain be like, you know what? I'm going to be sending $50K to the league. It is cool. But he is not doing that to me again.
Right. No, I'm not mad at that. I just don't know that there's a lot of those players who have that same mentality in the NFL because of the way the rules have changed and they kind of legislate that to the game. That's why I would say that. Now, again, you're right. Fool me once. Now next time, Patrick, you might be getting some plastic to the shoulder pad.
Yep.
Nonetheless, I expect those guys to improve like you did, like you do, and I think they'll be in the mix. They'll be in the playoffs, no doubt. I don't have them in the AFC Championship, but they will be in the playoffs. Yep. The Atlanta Falcons. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see the Atlanta Falcons against the Minnesota Vikings. Their defense looked for real. Their defense really looks for real. That guy, Bijan Robinson, he looks like he's ready. He's in his third year. He's ready to make some noise. What's your thoughts on the quarterback, though?
So Penix is good. Here's my issue with the Falcons, and it actually doesn't have to do with personnel. It has to do with coaching. And my issue with the coaching there is if you watch last year and, going into, the first couple of games here, is they just randomly forget that Bijan is on the roster, right?
Fair enough. They do have a pretty good tight end supposedly too, right?
Well, that's the thing is they have some. When you look at the roster, you're like, okay, let's go, and then their play calling comes down, and you're just like, how did you not get the ball in your playmaker's hand? And so my issue isn't with the roster; it's with the coaching and the direction that they use that team. Because you'll see moments where they'll flash, and you're like, okay, these plays make sense. They're getting playmakers the ball, like they're on time, they're in rhythm. Like this looks good. And then the next game they'll come out and Bijan won't get a carry and the tight end won't get a target. And you're just like, what are we doing right now?
Or to get inside the 30 and they put number 25 in. Now I like Algier. I think he's a good backup running back. But there's no way, unless my guy's over there in the blue tent, that number 7 comes off the field.
And that's my point.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you about the Falcons. So there's legitimate questions with the Falcons there. Let's see who else we got. Jared Goff, do you think the 50 points they put up on the Bears, or excuse me, the 30 points they put up on the Bears? No, I thought they put 50 points on the Bears, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. 52, I believe.
Yeah. Do you think this 52 points they put up on the Bears is more indicative of who the Lions are this season, or is it more? Are they more like the team that struggled last week?
I think they're kind of somewhere in the middle there. I think they came out mad against the Bears after the meltdown they had opening weekend. But, I think the real test is going to be against Baltimore this week. And, that's going to be a good game. They're going to put up points on this Baltimore team, though, because their defense isn't what you're used to seeing out of Baltimore. This is probably their worst defense they've had in the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And so, you're going to see the Lions put up points. This game I'm going to be watching very closely. I still think the Ravens win this game, but this is a game that I'm very interested in just because I don't think the Ravens are as bad as they've looked, and I don't think the Lions, as wildly different as the 2 weeks are, I'm curious kind of where it is they are against a good team, because I don't have the Bears as a good team.
You don't have the Bears as a good team?
No, not yet. And so they have a good roster. Okay. But Caleb Williams is the X factor here.
He has a learning curve. Yes, he has a learning curve.
Well, and can he accept coaching? That's the thing we've yet to see.
Yeah. I think you made that point a couple of weeks ago, and he clearly is struggling. Right now, do you? Just as we bring that up, and this is not on script or anything, but when you say he can't accept coaching, let's ignore that point just for the just this question. A minute 49 seconds ago in the first half. Minnesota 26, Golden State 37. We're talking about the Minnesota Lynx against the Valkyries, just to clarify. So they got a 11-point lead here with the ball. Burton pulls up for a 3. It was a wild 3. But okay, it is a wild 3. But I think the shot clock was going down, so she had to pull up. But my question, my question was about the Lions, correct? I want to ask you,
the Bears. The Bears.
Excuse me. I want to ask you about the Bears, and so a good offensive coach. Typically, they've been utilizing or they've been implementing this college game into the NFL over the last few years, so they can get these quarterbacks to produce quicker than they have been in recent past.
Yeah.
Should they be dumbing down I'm wondering, in the guy's second year, should his first year in this offense, should they be dumbing down the offense for him?
I mean, the problem, and we said it earlier, is the league isn't about developing players anymore because you get fired after a year sometimes, right? Teams no longer care about eating your contract. They're just like, in fact, a crazy stat last year was there was $700 million worth of coaching contracts for coaches not coaching that teams were paying.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it just shows that coaches are going to now do anything in their power to save their jobs. I don't think that's the situation here. Eberflus was the guy that was on, he was the lame duck guy on his way out. I think the biggest problem with the Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson issue is, one, Caleb Williams, based on other coaches that have talked to him, other players that have talked to him, when you try and coach him up, he just kind of ignores you, rolls his eyes, and moves on. So that's an issue already. And then when you look at Ben Johnson, his offensive style is on rhythm. Like it's supposed to be a very fluid, like hit your target on time. That's what it is. That is not how Caleb Williams plays. He is more of an ad-lib style player. His best plays are outside the pocket, moving around, stuff like that, which is how he drives himself into trouble. You've seen him, instead of climbing the pocket like you're supposed to, he'll bail and give those DNs a clear shot because he's bailing out of the protection. So, like, there's some very real issues with just some fundamental things with Caleb Williams. Are they coachable and correctable? Absolutely, if you're coachable.
Fair enough.
So that's the question. Right, because the rest of the team's ready to rock. They fixed the offensive line. He has weapons and a solid defense. So really, if they fail, it's not because the team's bad. You got the coach you wanted. So now the guy with the ball in his hand all the time,
but that's what
really
I'm saying.
Starts to fall on you.
That's what I'm saying. Did Ben Johnson create an offense that Jared Goff ran successfully? They put up 459 points, I think, last season.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not Jared Goff. This guy is not Jared Goff. So should the offense look more like a Williams offense instead of a Goff offense? Meaning that you do use shotgun more than you have or want to. Because this is the guy's best talent.
I think that's the learning curve, right? Is it, can you get your quarterback to learn your system, or do you have to accept the fact that your quarterback isn't going to be able to, and now you have to adjust your offense, right? And that's not a dig at it.
You make it sound so cold. He can't learn the offense. So we got the only thing we can do.
that's actually not what I mean by it. What I mean by it is it may not fit his style of play, right? Like, because
that's kind of what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at.
Football's fit, right? Football is fit all the time. And so, like, there's plenty of, like, think of all the different places Mahomes could have went that he may not be the Mahomes you see today, right? Sure. Like, if he went to the Jets, I mean, man. So when you're looking at it, it's like, okay, he had an offense in mind, and this is again where it becomes coaching. It's like, okay, I have this guy, I want to run this system, and then you, over a period of time, you're like, okay, look, it's just not going to work. His skill set isn't right. like whatever my system that I want to use doesn't mesh. So now as that coach, if you're a good coach, now you change your system to fit the guy you have because he's your guy, right? Yes. And you have weapons and you have a decent line and you have a defense. So the only thing holding you back is getting your system and that quarterback to work together. And if the quarterback can't get to your system, then you need to make your system work for that quarterback.
And how long does it take to realize that? I mean, that should take a couple practices to realize that this guy's not picking up your offense, isn't it? Well, I mean, I guess you want to give him a couple true life games, but
yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is you got to see if he can actually execute it. Like he probably can execute it in practice. You're not allowed to hit the guy. You're not allowed to go 100%. Like there's a lot going on there, right?
Right. Yeah, so, you want to give him some game action, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't want to give them too much game action and be like, oh, okay, it turns out this doesn't work. So let's go ahead and adjust this a little bit. So I would expect over the next couple of weeks that there will be some tweaks to what Williams does and probably also tweaks to the way Ben Johnson wants his offense to run. But it also depends on your offensive line because some offensive line are good at a moving pocket and some aren't. So then you have to figure out, did the guys you go get, were they designed for a guy like a Goff, or do they have enough athletic ability that they can move this pocket so that they can deal with a quarterback that likes to move around? Because those aren't always the same guys.
Yeah, well, hopefully they understood that what they had and brought in some guys that would fit with him rather than, I don't know. But that's your whole point is he needs to cater his offense to the quarterback. If he sees that he cannot get his offense, you need to cater. Yeah, I think that's just doing what a coach does. Take your guys and put them in the right spot so they can be successful. It's not about you. They need to be successful out there.
It also makes you wonder if he's not coachable, right? Again, I haven't been in the room, so I don't know. I don't know the kid, but say he is every bit of what people say he is. Uh-huh. Well, then as Ben Johnson, are you like, look, this ain't my dude. He doesn't listen. And because then even if you tailor it to him, he's still not listening, right?
Right.
And you can't coach that, right? You could tell someone how to get to the store, but if they don't listen to you, they ain't going to get to the store.
Right.
So,
that's your job. Like, is it ideal? Yeah. Is it ideal? Probably not. But that's your job is to get through to this guy. And so after 1 year, you're going to say I can't get through to the guy?
Well, it depends on how it is you are getting there, right? Yeah, like if he's trying to accept your information and he's just not getting there, then you can be like, okay, look, like we got to do some stuff. But if you have a guy that has the tools and he's just like Keenum is their backup, right?
Uh-huh.
So they were struggling. Keenum was trying to show him something on the tablet. Like this is on camera. This is live during the game.
Okay.
Right? Trying to show him something on the tablet. He got done talking. Now, Case Keenum, not an amazing talent, right? But he's been in the league for 14 years.
He's a veteran.
He's a veteran. He can read defenses. Like, there's a reason he's still in the league, right?
Right.
So when he gets done showing this, Caleb Williams just rolls his eyes and walks away, right? Like, if you can't accept information, then no, I fully move on, right? Like, what are you doubling down for? Like, if you got a guy that isn't going to be coachable, and it's funny that you asked this one because I talked about it on a show earlier today, is the parallel I made is when I was getting my racing license, I was driving a car. One of the instructor guys had to be in it with you. So we put a seat in the passenger seat for him. And there was going to be 4 different driving sessions during this day. And they're critiquing everything you do around the track. And this was, the track was called The Ridge. It's a road course here. Awesome track. So it's a rainy day. It's actually the first time I had driven this car. And so we're bombing around and we get done with the first session. We come in the second session and we're going along and I catch a rumble strip on, I think it was corner 3 with a right rear wheel, upset the car, kicks it sideways, and I drifted it into the next corner and then we just kept rolling. And the instructor gives the thumbs up, right? Doesn't say anything, just a thumbs up. We finished the session. And then afterwards, he's like, okay, clearly you can drive a car. You don't need me in there the rest of the time. And my response was, no, I want you in my driving sessions the rest of the day, because you know every entry and exit point and apex of every single corner on this. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I want you to tell me how to shave tenths of a second off of every single lap I do, right?
Yeah,
because I'm actively wanting the coaching. And so there's a distinct difference as opposed to somebody else that's just like, yeah, get the hell out of my car. So I mean, and if Williams is that guy who's just like, get out of my car, it's like, well, there's only so much you can teach a guy that isn't willing to learn.
Yeah,
and so that's the real question. Is Williams able to learn? And I don't mean able like he's unable to learn. Is he unwilling to learn?
Is he
or or can you mold him into that guy?
That's that's okay. I got your point, man. Before I let you go, I want to get your feedback on these 3 games. These are my 3 biggest games of the week in week 3 of the NFL season. I want to get your feedback, Bo.
Okay.
So without giving it too much thought, this is a quick reaction drill here.
Okay.
Have you seen the reaction deals that drop the little Nerf ball that try to grab them? All right, this is a quick reaction here. Rams, Eagles, who you got?
Eagles.
Broncos, Chargers, who you got?
Chargers.
Ravens, Lions, who you got?
Ravens.
Those are the games of the week, man. Is there any other games that you see that's bigger than those games or more? I can't say impactful. It is week 3. We got the Seahawks and the Saints. The Seahawks should beat them. The Cowboys and the Bears, I think, could get interesting. I don't think the Cowboys are great, but I think they're entertaining, and they'll put up 30 points. But they may.
I think they beat the Bears.
I got them beating the Bears, but I think the Bears might put up 30 points too. So it might be 38-31. Who knows? But you tune into the Cowboys game because it's going to be high scoring and entertaining. Cardinals and the Niners, that's an interdivision game. That's going to be a good, tough matchup.
So that's Cardinals.
What's that?
Cardinals win that game.
Ooh,
Purdy's out. There's no Kittle. Ayuk's still hurt. So basically, they're going to have Mac Jones handing the ball off to CMC.
And CMC may not be there after this Sunday. Huh?
Exactly.
The way he's getting punished. Then a good game. This would be another division rival. This would be a good game. It's not a game of the week, but the Texans-Jaguars will be a good football game. Jags -2. That will be a good football game. It's not a game of the weeker, but it'll be a good football game.
I like the Texans there.
You guys, please, Bo, thank you for tuning in, and please, I really appreciate you for tuning in to joining the Voice of the Fans week episode 351. I have to ask you, guys, you can tune in to the Pick'em show tomorrow night.
Yep.
Don't bother to watch the game. I'm hoping the Bills put up 60 points. I'm not going to watch the game. I think I'm going to go out to dinner with my mom. I'm going to have a glass of wine or something. I'm not tuning into this junk. I refuse to watch this junk. But I truly hope the Bills put up 60 points. What's that?
So because I got to be there for it, right? It's my event. But now it's game 3 for the Storm. So it's going to be Thursday Night Football, and then the Storm is going to be on the other TV.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes.
So if you're coming to the spot, the Storm and Thursday Night Football will both be on.
And Bo, I would rather watch WNBA than the Thursday Night Football game between the Miami Dolphins and Buffalo Bills tomorrow night. I'm gonna be locked in. I'm gonna be locked in to Skylar Diggins, Neko Nwumike, and Gabby Williams going down to Las Vegas to smack around the Aces. Is that gonna happen?
Yep.
Bo, is there a chance of that happening tomorrow?
There is a chance of that happening. I mean, so they finally ended Vegas's streak, right?
17 games.
And they did play them well during the season, right? So I mean, I think they can steal this game. That Seattle is that team that is fun and frustrating at the same time, right? Because they'll come out and they'll ball out, and then they'll come out a different game and they seem flat, and there's nobody even trying for a rebound, and you're just like, what are we doing? So,
You're tempting me, Bo. You're tempting me. You're trying to get me to say something. No, I'm not.
Hey.
I'm not buying the bait.
Come on, get that sound bite. Let's go.
I'm not taking the bait, Bo. So we got tomorrow. That'll be a really interesting game. And just you were in the room last night. Might Dom be in the starting lineup? I told you I want to see her at the 3. I want to see her, Nneka, and Ezzy in the lineup all at the same time.
I don't know if she necessarily gets to start. The one thing that is really encouraging, I guess, was the use of the bench yesterday. Yeah. Like there was a lot of bench action. Like there was a lot of subbing in and out, and it worked. It worked.
Situational for situational moments. You're exactly right. Yeah, good observation.
So I mean, we were seeing people that didn't get any playing time on the floor, and you're just like, okay. I mean, the only one that we didn't end up seeing out there, I think, was the only bench player that didn't get some time. That other than the one that's injured, was Holmes.
Right.
I think everybody else got at least some minutes out there.
Yeah. All hands on deck. I don't blame you, knowing all hands on deck. So we'll see tomorrow. Did you watch any boxing over the weekend?
No. I turned it on, and then I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep.
You fell asleep, and
I did.
Canelo Crawford put you to sleep.
I did. It's because I had 2 hours of sleep the night before, and I sat down, and my couch was like super comfortable, and I was just like, bam.
It sucked you up, huh?
So, oh man, it was a wrap. It was a wrap, and then. So sadly, I missed it. I watched part of it.
You saw the intro, and then they put you to sleep, huh? Okay.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. No, I mean, again, I just didn't get any. I mean, tonight's going to be the same way. Like, so this is my last show of the evening. But I've been going since 4 a.m.
Hey man, well, we thank you for tuning in. We thank you for tuning in. Let the people know where they can find you, Mr. Hardworking Man in the Northwest.
Yeah. So, again, if you're on YouTube at Football-Talk, on Roku TV, it is National Streaming Sports. On the radio, if you are on streaming radio, it is 97.3. It's a smooth jazz station out of Atlanta. And then, of course, if you're here in the Pacific Northwest, come out to Crucible Bar and come out for the show. Stay for the games and have a beer with us.
Sounds good. It was a snooze fest. Well, what are you talking about? What was a snooze fest?
He was talking about the boxing, but honestly,
he was wrong. That's why he said he was wrong. You was wrong. Pay up, Big Shot. That's what you pay up, Big Shot.
Yeah, I mean, well, and I didn't go back and watch the rest because then I heard the ending and I'm like, okay, well, all right. I don't need to watch it now.
I can't. You're like me. I cannot turn on a game. I can't watch a replay. If I know who's won the game, I can't watch it.
The only way I can watch it,
I can't watch a replay. Like if it's already been played, like I cannot sit down and concentrate on this game, like without finding out the score and being done with it.
So I'm with you unless I'm watching with a purpose. So if I'm breaking down a piece of film, I'm fine, right? Like if there's some elements of the game, there's no doubt that my audio is messed up because it's my phone Bluetooth through. Oh, it's Jay. Never mind. Jay, you're dumb.
He said you're going through puberty.
Yeah. No, it's because I'm doing this on my phone because my computer had an issue, and so it's been a problem.
We're making it work, but Jay over there Jay over here had to get one in. That was a good one, Jay.
Yeah. Now, as soon as I saw who it was, I'm like, okay.
That was a good.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's Jay. Yep.
Well, check it out. Oh, this
we don't watch film together. That is true. To be fair, I have not broke down a lot of WNBA film. Generally, I break down NFL because my primary thing, even though with Cam, I cover, the WNBA. My primary love is football.
Sure. But it's fun to get out there. It's fun to see what's happening. I mean, the city came out. The city came out for game 2. I mean, the stadium was packed. It was loud. It was a raucous environment. I don't know. I think it might be all over. It might be all over, but let's see. Tune in tomorrow and let's see what happened. Bo, want to thank you for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans. Appreciate you joining us. Thanks again, and appreciate all your fans and listeners. Jay, what up, Jay? What up, Ralph? Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. As always, we're here every Wednesday. Come on out and make sure you guys tune in. Thursday night, Crucible Bar in Everett, near the Everett Mall. Make sure you come out and share a beer with the guys. Thank you both. Thank you for tuning in, man. Appreciate your time. We'll holler at you soon.
Yep.
That was my guy, Bo. We cover in WNBA. We also talk a lot of football. So thank you guys for checking in. Let me run down my picks from last week before I move on to the NBA. But my picks from last week is I went 13 out of 16 picks. The games I got wrong, I had the Miami Dolphins beating the Patriots. As we know, they got whooped. I had the Broncos over the Colts, and the Colts pulled that one out. And I had Minnesota over the Falcons. Injuries in the 2 games. The Falcons and the Colts games had injuries, so there's that. 13 out of 16, Jay. Check it out. The Dolphins are junk, man. So let's just not talk about them no more. I had 2 out of 3 picks against the spread correct. I had Cincinnati, Buffalo, and the Bucks won by 1 point. So I had them by +2. So that was my picks from last week. This week, as I mentioned earlier with Jay on the line, I think the games of the week are the Lions and the Ravens, the Broncos and the Chargers. The Lions and Ravens both are 1-1, by the way. The Browns are the Broncos are 1-1. Chargers are 2-0. The Chargers are looking to go 3-0 in their division. Like, that gives them a real good jump. And obviously the Broncos are trying to keep them from getting that far ahead of everybody in the division. And then the 2-0 Rams versus the 2-0 Eagles. I think that's going to be a really good game as well. I have the Rams winning that game. I have the Chargers beating the Broncos. And I have the Lions beating the Ravens. I think they'll see each other later, but that's how I got that. Ravens are favored by 5. I got 5. My sheet shows 5. Yeah, I got the Rams beating the Eagles. The Eagles look strong. The Rams the Rams played them tough last year in the playoffs, if you recall. The Rams played the Eagles really tough in the playoffs. If not for a player here or there, if not for a Barkley breakthrough. Barkley had 200 yards, if I remember correctly. Shame on the Rams if they let Barkley run for 175 yards again and 2 touchdowns. I think 2 60-yarders, if I remember correctly. Shame on the Rams if they let Barkley do that again. I mean, that Barkley's season, not that Barkley's a bad back, don't get me wrong, but his season last year was just so phenomenal. I don't know that happens again. Detroit is underdog. Detroit winning outright. Yes, I got Detroit winning outright. Yep. Yes, I do. Detroit outright. I got the Rams beating the Eagles. Yes, I do, because they were so close, and this one's not for the money. So yeah, I think they're going to upset them. They're going to Philly to upset them. It's not they're not going to endure any. They're not playing weather. It's going to be September. So I mean, it's September, middle of September. So it's not going to be cold, wet, rainy. That's not what I'm anticipating. So it's going to be a good football track. I got them. I got the Rams and the Eagles. I got the Bills beating the Dolphins. I got the Packers over the Browns. I got the Colts over the Titans. I got the Vikings over the Bengals. I got the Steelers over the Patriots. Tampa Bay over the Jets. Washington over the Raiders. Atlanta over the Panthers. The Jaguars over the Texans. Chargers over the Broncos. I got the Seahawks over the Saints. I actually got the Dallas Cowboys beating the Bears. As I mentioned, the Dallas Cowboys, if Dak Prescott's available in your fantasy league, go get him, because he's going to put up a lot of points. I got the Niners. I'm gonna get to you, Jay. I'm gonna get to that one. I got I got the Niners. I think I got the Niners over the Cardinals, which, I mean, after talking to Bo, I might want to change that pick. Bo makes some really great picks about the injuries. Chiefs over the Giants and Detroit over the Lions. The question, how real are the Packers? The Packers are very real. The Packers needed one thing. The Packers needed a pass rush. Their cornerbacks, after guarding a receiver, cornerbacks can only guard the receiver for a few seconds. When you get into that 4 or 5 second mark, the receivers are going to get open. It's impossible to guard for that long. That's what the Packers cornerbacks in the secondary were being forced to do before the acquisition of Micah Parsons. Now they have two guys, Gary and Parsons, on each side of the ball or each side of the offense that can rush the passer, to legitimately rush the passer and put pressure on the passer. By doing that, you reduce the time that your DBs have to cover the receivers, and that makes them more effective. That makes the safeties more effective, because now you're giving them less time to do their job. And so, yes, Micah Parsons brings them everything that they needed in the sense of a pass rush, or more effective pass rush. Now that they have that, and they have Jordan Love taking another step in his career, they have the run. They already have Josh Jacobs is arguably one of the best running backs in the game. Now, people are going to say Derrick Henry. People are going to say Saquon Barkley. They're not wrong when they throw those names out there. However, Josh Jacobs is a very good running back. I would say he's third. He's not a far third behind Saquon or Derrick Henry, whichever guy you choose. Josh Jacobs is not a far third guy. So very good, very, very good. I mean, what don't you like about Love? What don't you like? That he threw some interceptions early in his career? Well, who didn't? He threw some big time early interceptions early in the season last year. He got that corrected. Second half of the season, so he's been more efficient. Oh boy, listen to it. Well, I tell you what, boy, these Packer fans, boy, they gonna come. So you go to somebody's house and all of a sudden they got shiny new gear. All of a sudden they got shiny new hats and shiny new toys, stuff that you hadn't seen before. That's how some of these Packer fans are now. They're coming out of the woodworks with all this brand new gear and merchandise that you haven't seen in a lifetime. I find that pretty interesting. He isn't clutch. You talking about Jordan Love? Woof, man. Again, what was Jordan Love in his third year last year? And he didn't play his full year. Wasn't he hurt part of his second year as well? I think Jordan, you might be a little harsh on Jordan Love. He's a young guy. He's I know I didn't call him bandwagon fans. I didn't say bandwagon fans. But it's funny when all of a sudden, like I've known two Packer fans in my life, and Anthony Davis, who plays now in Dallas, and you got your boy Lil Wayne in New Orleans. Other than that, these other guys, I don't know where they're coming from. I just found it interesting. I didn't say they weren't fans. I just hadn't heard. Didn't know them as fans. That's all I'm saying, Jay. I didn't know them as fans. Maybe that's a better point. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for keeping me on point, Jay. That's all I'm saying. I didn't know they were fans. So you got my picks against the spread this week. I'm taking Buffalo minus the 12 as my 12.5 as a picks against the spread. I'm taking Buffalo. Buffalo, I hope they actually murder the Dolphins. Jay, I hate to say it. I'm a Miami Dolphin fan, Jay. But tomorrow night, I hope the Bills put up 60 on them tomorrow night. Because if they put up 60, that they have to fire the coach. They have to fire the GM. Heck, I hope the Bills put up, like we put up 70 on the Broncos a couple seasons ago. I hope they put up 75 on the Dolphins tomorrow. And clean house. Let's start this thing all over again. And I'm going to submit my application to become the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Oh, no, better yet, I'm going to submit my application to become the general manager of the Miami Dolphins. Because I know in 19 years I can win one playoff game. In 19 years, just one game? Come on. I know I can do that. That's not a problem. Yeah, man. You got to understand the franchise. Jay, if you ain't understood the franchise and you haven't known this is long, agonizing years of heartache, bro, speaking right now. A lot of years of heartache right now. So, yeah, I hope they get crushed by 75 tomorrow. Again, mark my words, 75 points. I want somebody to put up 75 points on them so they can clean house. Fans, as we do each and every week, man, I thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. I really do. Every week I want to bring you something different. I want to kind of educate, uplift, motivate some of my listeners. If you're listening to the podcast, I just want to go back and highlight some of the positive things that's been happening in history. John Mercer Langston was elected township clerk of Brownhelm, Ohio, becoming the first black person to hold an effective office in the United States in September 10, 1855. September 11, 1959, Duke Ellington received the Spring Arm Medal for groundbreaking achievements in music and cultural influence. September 12, 1992, Dr. Mae Jemison became the first African-American woman to travel in space aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour. September 13, 1886, Alan Locke, the first African-American Rhodes Scholar and key figure in Harlem Renaissance, was born in September 13, 1986. September 15th, guys, was the tragic church bombing in Birmingham, Alabama, killing 4 African-American girls, Addie Mae Collins, Cynthia Wesley, Carol Robertson, and Denise McNair. During Sunday service, the act was a racial terrorism galvanized the civil rights movement. Man, that was emotional. Being in Birmingham for a couple of years, visiting the Civil Rights Museum, that was emotional moment. Visiting that church, man. It was wild. It was just an emotional moment visiting the church down in Alabama, which clearly is all been redone and what have you. September 17, 1983, Vanessa Williams was crowned Miss America, becoming the first African-American woman to win the title. Her win broke barriers in mainstream pageantry. So, like I said, fans, I just want to bring you guys some of the stuff that's been happening back in the day that a lot of people forgot, man. Some of that stuff, none of that stuff was on you guys' mind today. So, thank you guys again for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. If you can and you're willing, hit that subscribe button, fans. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Let other people know about the podcast if you enjoy what you're listening to and enjoy the content that we're providing you. The story that hasn't died yet has NBA Commissioner Adam Silver kind of talking in circles. This situation with the Clippers circumventing their salary cap to give Kawhi Leonard an extra $28 million endorsement. The now bankrupt company is tied to Steve Ballmer. They can't really get away from it. I don't see them getting away from it. We haven't. The only thing we've heard Adam Silver say is he wasn't familiar with the Spire. Then he came back and tried to walk that back. This is a tough situation. I don't know what the NBA does against the richest owner in the game. Do they penalize him? Do they set up a situation where they try to penalize him, he doesn't accept it, and then he brings the rest of the owners to trial? And he wants to air out their garbage and their dirty laundry? Do the owners want to go through that? Sure, they're pissed off. Sure, they're not happy. Sure, they're not going to be happy in the future when Ballmer tries some shady stuff again. But what do you do against the richest owner in the game? Like, if you try to penalize this guy, I think immediately both very creative and very scandalous. I think if you try to penalize Ballmer, the richest man in America, sixth richest man in the world, is not just gonna walk to jail, walk into the jail and say, I take this penalty. He's not gonna do that. He has lawyers. Some of the best lawyers, I'm sure. And he pays them pretty well. He's going to say, get on the case and get me out of this mess. And so there again, those lawyers are going to go right to Adam Silver and say, well, let's talk about the other owners who are doing this, this, and this. And clearly start deflecting, and then do the other owners. You already hear the way that Mark Cuban is talking. You know he don't want to be investigated. Heck, Mark Cuban was saying even with what was the guy Shady who Ballmer took over for? Even the shady owner then, Mark Cuban was saying, hey, those tapes, we're walking down a slippery slope if you want to get rid of the guy for being a racist. Donald Sterling. Mark Cuban was supporting this guy. So clearly there's something that Mark Cuban doesn't want to be exposed. How many other owners are like that? What about your owner in New York, James Dolan? You don't think he got something to hide? So I don't know that these owners are really raring to go and to convict Steve Ballmer. As much as they might not like the situation, I don't know that they're ready to go convict him because of that. The fans need a body. The fans ain't gonna get a body, buddy. I don't know if the fans get a. I don't know if the fans are going to get a body. Just because I don't think the owners want to fight Steve Ballmer. That's what it comes down to. I don't think the owners really want to fight Steve Ballmer. They don't want to fight Steve Ballmer, and then there's this thing called discovery where they're going to have to expose their books and expose their house. I don't think they want to do that. But I mean, I tend to agree with you that one man is not bigger than the league. However, this situation is different. This ain't a player. The situation is different. I think they want to keep the richest owner in America. I would think they want to keep him on their team. Would the NFL go against Jerry Jones? The NFL has went against Jerry Jones privately, and both publicly and privately, and they lost both times. So does the NFL want to go against them? But if the NFL, man, that's a great point, Jay. They've already lost to Jerry Jones. They lost to Jerry Jones a couple times. So if Jerry Jones was circumventing the cap, well, Jerry's done this. And he's actually made this law. If you guys remember, Jerry Jones, back in the early 90s, before they signed Dion, the NFL had a contract with Coke. Jerry Jones said, Pepsi is going to pay me double what Coke is paying you guys. I'm gonna go sign this deal with Pepsi. The NFL was like, "Yo, Jerry, you can't go sign a deal outside of the rest of the owners." Jerry's like, "Well, you guys need to worry about your own house. Go make some money." And Jerry changed the rules. Changed at that moment. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Well, he does have prior convictions. Oh, that's what you're saying. He is not they, is he. He was caught up with this before. Again, what's the penalty? SB, what's the penalty you announce? You're gonna suspend or ban the richest owner in the sport from coming to the stadium? Is that what you're gonna do? Are you gonna fine them $5 million? What's that gonna do? That's like $50 for you and me. What? First round draft pick, loss of a first round draft pick. They don't have a first round draft pick as it stands today until 2030, I think it is. So you're gonna take a first rounder in the future? Okay, so big deal. Most players, the owner is still going to own the team for the most part, but the players will probably be turned over by then. The roster be turned over in 5 years. Yeah, 2030 exactly, for real. So big deal. That's not in 5 years. That's the roster be turned over by then. It's not really hurting. But yes, they have prior convictions. I'm eager. SB, what would be your penalty? I'm eager to hear. Because again, it starts with, do you ban the richest owner in the game for 1 year? Do you think they do that? And okay, if they had the courage to do that, fans, if they had the courage to do that, does he take that ban? Does he take that ban just sitting down? You think he goes back to goes on vacation for a year? I don't think so. I don't think that. I don't know anything. I don't have any inside scoop. But you see this man at every single home game, cheering, breaking a sweat, going crazy. That would be the way to get at him, though, to ban him for the season, and then to say that he can't kick it and he can't. He's unable to show off his stadium during the All-Star break because the All-Star break is at the Intuit Dome this year. That would be a punishment. That really would be a punishment. I guarantee you he goes into litigation to prevent that. And then they decide something in the offseason. I guarantee that. It's the owner. Kawhi is only doing what the owner allows him to do. He's only asking for money. Because Kawhi asked for money doesn't mean they have to pay him. Because Uncle Dennis, have you ever on stuff on the job? Have you asked for extra stuff on the job you knew you weren't going to get? Yeah, and you just asked for it anyway. Yeah, I know I'm not going to get that parking spot or that office on the corner, but hell, all they can do is tell me no. And so, yeah, I'd be asking for the moon too. All they can do is tell me no. So yes, this is the owner. Because Kawhi asked for it doesn't mean the owner has to get it. And the owner, this is the owner. This is 100% the owner. So I don't blame Kawhi. I mean, because most players, if they knew that loophole was open, is going to try to get something. Draft picks, minority owner takes it. Yes. See, I'm with you. The minority owner, he's done. He's banned for life. Okay, he's banned for life from all NBA functions, all NBA activities. I got you. That's all that can have. That's all that can really do. The draft pick, the fines because he's, okay. Are you gonna find him $1 billion? The question did become, what do you do with that money? The fines once the fines are paid off. I don't know. Okay, fine him $500 million. Whatever you want to find him, it's not going to be a lot. It's not going to be significant enough that he says, "I'm never doing this again." Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, you guys should see these texts I'm getting in the chat. Bo, who are your fans sending me? Ooh, what are your fans? Kawhi gets suspended too. Willful participant in shape. Yeah. What are you going to do to Kawhi? Are you going to suspend Kawhi for a year? Do you say, Kawhi, you're done for a year? Like, do you? I'd agree. You really couldn't argue it. But then Kawhi is going to be like, yo, this is just something they come up with. I was instructed to do this. And then, I mean, yeah. If you are a player, does this make you want to play for the Clippers, knowing they'll get you paid no matter what? Yes and no. The players already want to play for the Clippers anyway, because Ballmer, being the richest owner, is already known to go above and beyond, go over the top, as he went over the top for the stadium. If you've seen there any videos, any clips or anything, Ballmer goes above and beyond for the players. He's the richest owner in the game. So yes, he spends a few more dollars on his team and for his team than other owners. So this singular act doesn't make him more attractive to other players in the league. But because the word is that Ballmer will take care of you as a player, the word is already that the Clippers are a well-run organization. Well, until obviously this scandal came out. But the word is the player around the league that players already. But then there, unfortunately, there's also a stigma against the Clippers because they have not won. So where you do have the richest owner in the game, that elevates your stock and the desire for players to want to play with you. The fact that you historically have not won also is right there. So that any advantage they have also is weighted down by the fact of their history. So it's kind of two in the same there, or one in the same there. It's not about to get paid. I say suspend Kawhi and ban him from NBA for life. Oh my goodness, that's not happening, big guy. Let Ballmer go with a slap off the wrist status quo. Yeah, that's not happening. It's not about getting paid. It's about getting caught. Yeah, clearly. And so there, you talking about Kawhi. There it's more about not getting caught. It's about paying, circumventing the salary cap. That's the problem here. Besides the tax issue that probably Uncle Sam is going to want to talk to Ballmer about, it's the circumventing the salary cap that Silver is talking about that has the rest of the owners in the league a little frazzled and pissed off because you're doing some – they was already afraid anyway that you got more money than them. Now you got more money than them, and now you're being more creative than them, circumventing the salary cap that they all supposed to agreed on to keep the money down. So, yes, the owners are frazzled. I 100% understand why the owners would be concerned, pissed off, frustrated. I totally get it. However, there's not much they can do. However, I don't know. Mark my words, guys. You guys can come back to the video, come back to this podcast in a few weeks when they say, NBA announces that they conducted or concluded their investigation and they found no wrongdoing by Steve Ballmer and the Los Angeles Clippers. You guys can come back to this podcast there and say, that guy was right. Or you come back here and say you're an idiot because you didn't know what the heck you were talking about. Jay over here is on a heater. Okay, Jay, I see you, Jay. You must not like Kawhi. Who's your team, Jay? Because you don't like Kawhi, clearly. So fans, again, I want to have that conversation about the NBA and what the Adam Silver should do. I mean, he's stuck between a rock and a hard spot right now. That's cute, Jay. That's cute. Did you guys watch any Euro basket this weekend? The Final Four was this weekend. Germany defeated Turkey 88-83 in a thriller in Latvia. Excuse me. Dennis Schroeder. You know what? If Dennis Schroeder, if they allowed him to wear a Germany jersey in the NBA, this guy would be a Hall of Famer. You know, when I'm joking about that, but when I say that, he's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame most ready just from what he's doing in the EuroLeague basketball. He's always played well out there. Performed when he plays for those Germany. He's always performed really well. Looked like a top flight point guard. He was actually the tournament MVP. 16 points in the finals. In the finals record, 12 assists. He said Giannis said that was the biggest accomplishment ever. I wonder, does it stand next to the gold ball or not? That would be my next question, Jay. So good thing they're getting their game on. Giannis did win the bronze by who they beat, Finland, by 2.3 points there. The all Euro team was Dennis Schroeder, Franz Wagner, Alperen Şengün, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Luka Doncic. Could that starting five? How did that starting five compete with our men's Olympic squad? If they were play, you guys play last year. How would this team compete? Dennis Schroeder, Franz Wagner, Alperen Şengün, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Luka Doncic. How would this compete against the U.S. team? The U.S. team might be in trouble, fans, for the Olympics this year. They just might be in trouble, man. I don't know if you guys know that. They just might be in a little bit of trouble. This year. All right, fans, so let's talk about now. We're going to talk about our this week in history. WNBA playoffs are getting started. I told you guys earlier, the Valkyries are looking good. Uh-oh. Wait, hold on. Cardinals, Kyler Murray, sorry for Vic pick. Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray says he does not condone animal cruelty after wearing a Mike Vick jersey in a IG post with his dogs. Oh, my goodness. Somebody. Oh, my goodness gracious. Kyler really posted up with the put boy in a Vic jersey is insane work, dog. Wow. Well, I mean, is this a thing? Is this something to complain about? I mean, oh my goodness. Maserati Marv was blocked by Kyler Murray. That's funny. Because he's the one that put it out there. He said it's crazy work, but is that No, well, he's apologizing because he wore the jersey with his dog, and I think people are correlating it with him being a dog abuser now because he wore a Mike Vick jersey. Come on, folks, get with it. Anyway, WNBA action is going on right now. Got some playoffs. Minnesota 63, Golden State Valkyries is 63. Minnesota Lynx 51. This is game 2. Minnesota leads the series best of 3, but Valkyries on the home court. They're trying to get a chance to stay alive. And here they go, scoring another bucket. So the Minnesota Valkyries is going to be a good game. Here we are, 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. This is going to be a good closeout. Can Minnesota sweep them, or can Valkyries play? What do they say? Live to fight another day. We'll see. Here, tune in. It's on ESPN, so tune in if you want to see it. Well, they got hot early. So Jay, they got hurt. They got hurt hot early. That's what really happened in Minnesota. They were on a winning streak. Maybe they were streaking too early because they've been killing the first half of the season. Second half hasn't been what the first half was, which led everybody to believe that there was a lull. But they won game 1. The Valkyries is no joke. Valkyries ain't chopped liver. I mean, it's a good team, well coached, and they play hard. So give the Valkyries credit if they should ultimately win this game, for winning the game in the playoffs. They get to the playoffs. No other team has made the playoffs in the WNBA in their first season. That's a good season. And subscribe to them all. H&B Media TV, Voice of the Fans on YouTube. Subscribe to each one. If you like the show, hit that subscribe button. If you really like the show, hit that share button. If you really, really like the show, hit us up in the chat. Hit us up on Twitter @_Voice of the Fans if you continue the conversation. Crawford dominates Canelo over the weekend. This is the highly anticipated fight everybody wanted to see. Everybody been wanting to see. Terrence Crawford has been highly avoided in the boxing game for many, many years, fans. If you guys don't follow boxing specifically or detailedly, everybody was avoiding Bud Crawford. They didn't want no parts of him. Now, it's crazy to think that, or to say that ESPN didn't promote him properly, but he didn't help the promotions because he dominated everybody that he fought. So you had to just see him for who he was. A great boxer, good skills, punching power, speed, ring IQ. You had to be able to see that and identify that early on. There you go, SB. There you go, Jay. Way to go, Jay. Good looking out, baby. Appreciate you. Here's a response for you. Nafisa was out. She was out for a minute. Late in the season. Again, their second half of the season wasn't what their first half of the season was, but their links are as what they advertise. Thanks for tuning in, big dog. Talk to you next week. We're here every Wednesday, man. Tune in and be a part of the show. Appreciate you, Jay. Crawford dominates Canelo. Fans, for those who had any doubts what was going to happen, the only thing that was the real concern going into the fight was Crawford going to be able to withstand Canelo's barrages, his punching power. Well, what Crawford was able to do is not only withstand the punching power, but he was able to connect with Canelo on the counter punching, which kept Canelo off balance, which really frustrated Canelo throughout the fight. And you could see that rear its head in 6 or 7 rounds when he was getting connected, and he just, it was a frustration walking back to the corner after every round because he couldn't touch his kid. There was a couple of times where he got him with the body blow early. Crawford ate it, and by the third round, every time Canelo would throw a punch, Crawford was throwing through 2 and 3 back at him, and he was not used to that. It was very different. It was very different in the than the Errol Spence fight because it was not a punishing whooping like he put on Errol Spence. It was a tactical, very safe fight that he fought. Some fans didn't like it because they say he didn't box enough. They say he ran too much. One dude actually compared him to Sha'Carri Richardson, saying that he ran too much. But was that ring generalmanship? I'd ask you, boxing fan. Was that ring generalmanship? Was that controlling the pace of the fight? Because you can't expect the man who jumped up 20 pounds to take on Canelo Alvarez to sit there and bang with him. Is that what you guys were expecting? That just didn't make any sense. So let's stick and move. Let's hit this guy and spin him. Let's hit this guy, turn, and stick and move. Because he can't keep up with you. So let's stick and move through a whole night. That's what he did. It was a very impressive fight. Very impressive. I had him winning. For him to win a draw in Las Vegas, it was going to have to be a convincing win. And that's exactly what I had him going into the fight. I had him winning by a draw. Yeah, Canelo had no answers. I don't know if he failed to show the power. He couldn't connect. And that was the whole thing. Canelo couldn't get in his game plan because Canelo tried to catch him with the left hook to the body and then the right punch to the head. But when he threw the left hook to the body, he was getting punched in the face. He was eating two or three jabs right there to the face. Threw his whole rhythm off. Threw the whole rhythm. So he was out of sorts, if you will. Very interesting fight. I don't know where Canelo goes from here. It's Benavidez is the fight that everybody. If he fought David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, that fight would be bigger than the fight we saw this weekend, Canelo and Terence Crawford. Because Canelo's been ducking this guy for 4 years. But Canelo's not going to fight this guy. The Mexican monster has him by about 6 inches. 6 inches in height, 6 inches in length. And you thought Crawford, if you thought, like I'm saying, Crawford was pot-shotting, David Benavidez is going to be able to sit back without engaging in Canelo. Sit back using his length to connect and destroy Canelo. Canelo don't want that fight. Canelo do not want that fight. We won't see that fight. I don't know what's next for Canelo. I'm sure he fights again. Too much money out there. I don't know what's next for him. But I'd be impressed if he fought David Benavidez. I'd be more impressed if he asked for Crawford again. Somebody who's not ready for these guys is Akhmedov, Dejan Akhmedov. He beat him by unanimous decision in Japan this weekend. That was another good fight. So boxing is alive and well, fans. Thank you guys for asking. We got something special going on up here in Seattle this summer. Not only did the WNBA, the Storm, get into the playoffs, we got this dude, Cal Raleigh. He just tied Ken Griffey Jr. with the most home runs for the Seattle Mariners in the season. With a little over 10 games left, is Cal Raleigh going to break 60 home runs? I'm just trying to check and see. With just a little, the Mariners lost tonight, breaking their 10-game win streak, but they were on a 10-game win streak, so kudos to them. Let's see how many games they have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 left in September. October, how many games? 10. So they got 10 games left. 10 games left. If he hit a home run in just half of those games, If he hit a home run in half of those games, that's going to be 61 home runs. That breaks 60. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. Crawford was the smarter fighter, but I wasn't entertained. Man, I don't know what you want. You think this is a heavyweight fight? We're just standing in the middle of the ring going toe for toe? Come on, man. Crawford, the undersized fighter, had to use the skill set to keep him alive. He had to move. Come on, man. Cut it out. Along with Cal Raleigh, leading the major league in home runs, the Mariners are number 1 in their division, fans. They were on a 10-game win streak, so now they're 9-1 in the last 10 games. Okay, so they're 77. What the Mariners' record? 77-69. Like, who expected that? Or excuse me, 83-69. Who expected this, fans? Which one of you had the Mariners winning 90 games this season? Which one of you had the Mariners being number 1 in their division going into the playoffs? Kudos to Mariners for getting it done. I don't like to talk about the Mariners, but I have to give them props when they deserve it. And this week they deserve it. They do. Kyle Raleigh's leading them. They're doing a bang-up job. The team is winning games. Kudos to the Mariners. That's what we want in Seattle as winners, right? So kudos to the Mariners. Have you been to a Mariners game this season? Oh, my man won't leave this fight alone. SB says it was not Hagler Holmes. No, it wasn't Hagler Holmes. No. It wasn't Hagler Hearns from the 80s. Okay. So that's the only time you like boxing when you saw a fight from the 80s. It was not Hagler Hearns. And fans, if you guys boxing fans, if you hadn't seen round 3, I think it was, of Hagler Hearns, go just tune in and watch the whole fight. Pull it up on YouTube. Hagler Hearns. I think it was 81, 83, something like that. It was a long time ago. Fans, I really thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. It's nothing less than cathartic to do the show for you guys. I really appreciate you guys. Those of you guys who tune in, it's really fun when you guys become a part of the show. Adds more excitement for me. It adds some fun. So thank you guys for being a part of the show. I really enjoy sharing some of my stories, my experiences with you guys. So I'll continue to do that. Also, you guys hear the This Week in History segment. Another segment that are really near and dear to me is leaving the show with a quote, giving you guys something to hang on to for the next week. The quote I have for you this week is, confidence is not, will they like me? Confidence is, I'll be fine if they don't. One more time. Confidence is not, they will like me. Confidence is, I'll be fine if they don't. When you go into a room, fans, whether they like you or they don't, you need to be focused and be fine being yourself. Be yourself, guys. Nobody can do that better than you. So be yourself, fans, when you're moving around the world, when you're walking into the next room. Be yourself. That's much more appreciated and respected than trying to be someone else. And that's the only quote I want to leave you guys. That's the quote I want to leave you guys with tonight. Once again, fans, thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. We are here every Wednesday night. Thank you once again for tuning in. And here's how I'll end the show differently this week than most weeks. Same content, but here's the closing.
Marcellus Wiley right here. Thank you for making our voice your choice. You know what I'm saying? Let me give me a beat, dog. Let me get something.
Take care, fans.